I planned on this being a night totally of like going to sleep at 8:30, maybe even 8. But it's 9:33 right now, and we just had some of, I think, the craziest deep work I've ever had in an evening session. I totally was not expecting this, but I just created the final templates for two really high quality tracking sheets that we have. So a high quality research sheet for content researchers that come onto our team. We just brought on another intern onto our team today who's going to be helping us out with content research. So I like polished up that sheet, made the SOP and the tutorial around that. And then we also are using the big content data tracking sheet. So like for all of your posts across all of your platforms, all of your formats, all of your pillars, we're tracking that. So we're filling that out for all clients. We had a new and improved sheet. We're improving it every single week, but the version I just put out, I think, is extra dope. And we're rolling that out across all clients, but also using it as like a bit of a lead magnet as well for clients that are very interested in working with us, like going through and taking their last like year worth of postings. We're coming up to the end of 2026. So created those two templates, and I'm feeling really good. I was getting tired. I wanted to be in bed by like 8:15 so I could catch up on some sleep, because we're still going to be waking up at 5 tomorrow, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But totally would be a good use of time, good trade. So I will 100% take that into consideration. And I realized I just got a little bit like social media rambly. I think the more that I spend time in the space, the more that I will just say like things like pillars, formats, etc. Like I just went on like a total rant, like tracking posts, platforms, pillars, formats. So platforms would be like Instagram versus TikTok versus YouTube. Pillars would be like the stuff you talk about. So like, is it an educational video? Is it a motivational video? Is it a relatable video? Is it a podcast video, etc.? And then your formats are like the way that it's delivered. So technically this YouTube video would be like a long form because it's horizontal and over a minute, and a talking head video because there's no like real graphics or anything on it. There's no like fancy captions or animations. So this would be called like a long form talking head. And then you have like short form talking head. You have like skit video where you play two characters. You have clone video where you play two characters, clone them, and they're on the same screen. You have like split screen video, which is what a lot of mine went viral on. So it's like tracking that kind of stuff, and then just what performed best. So if we look back at the data, we'll be able to see like, okay, this format outperformed the other formats, or this pillar outperformed the other pillars, so that when we make content going forward, we're making more data-driven decisions. And I can only imagine that that sheet is just going to keep getting more and more powerful over time. And I really like, just in the past month especially, I just feel like our library of resources and our database of resources is really starting to grow, because we've been putting in work for almost 2 years, like day in and day out, like working on this. And I feel like a big thing that was missing was the templatization of stuff, and just creating a database of all of our assets that we could then reuse and use across the company, as opposed to just like thinking from scratch each time. I think it's definitely held us back a bit, but I think there definitely is a level of thinking that needs to go into stuff at the beginning so you can at least understand it. So I want to take the time in this video to like try and explain the seemingly amorphous concepts that I can get into sometimes when it comes to social media, because I think a good measuring stick of how much you know your stuff is how simply you can explain it. So I always try to flex that muscle. But today was overall a really strong day. Biggest lesson learned inside of the business was that like it is very important to talk with your team consistently. There's been phases where we've had calls every day, phases where we've had no calls for weeks, and we've gotten to a good middle ground where we're meeting with like each department at least a few times per week. So today's call was with editors. So basically I was just reviewing videos in live time with the editors, and just telling them why I was making certain revisions. We were brainstorming cool ideas, and it was overall a really good vibe. That was in the morning. Had a couple sales calls today. Both went really well. Met with some current clients, just going over their content sheets. also really fun. And then met some new editors who were always hiring. So we're in a phase of big growth right now. We're just about ready to start accepting new clients. We've been on a pause for over a month on accepting new business, which I think is pretty cool, but also definitely not cool at the same time. Like, cool to know that there's demand, not cool to know that like you're leaving not just money on the table, but like working with people I really want to work with. And I've been not deferring the business, but like delaying the business because I want to make sure that the service is as good as possible. So we're just about ready to start ramping that back up. We're bringing on some new clients this next week, which is very exciting. Called my dad today, brought on a new intern, a lot of calls today. It was a good combination of calls, deep work, and my inbox being clear. Actually, my inbox is not clear at the moment. I was working for the last 2 hours on those templates, and it's definitely not clear. So I'm going to go get to that a bit later than I expected, but I would 100% make that trade. So I am going to wrap up the work right now. There we go. Now we're getting ready for bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow.